What were you doing at 22? Because my guest today was already running an AI company. So honestly, I have to ask you a powerful question. What's your excuse? Joshua Mason is the founder of FaithlineAI, a Charlotte based company helping small businesses scale through custom AI workflows and agentic solutions. At just 22 years old, Joshua is a Stanford D.School University Innovation Fellow with a background in financial technology. He leads a team deeply committed to tech education, regularly hosting hands on AI workshops for local students and youth, and he's doing all of this while running a growing company that bridges the gap between cutting edge technology and practical, real world results. This is one of those conversations that's going to challenge you, inspire you, and make you rethink what's possible no matter what age you are. Welcome to Talking Techish with Dr. DeMario. Hello, 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 and welcome back. As always, I'm excited. I'm on level 10. I had about 3 cups of coffee today, so I'm going to be very hyped. But this episode right here is kind of special and dear to my heart. Here, I met this young man, and I will call him young because I'm in my 50s. This brother right here, he's in his 20s. But we met, and I was very impressed with the work that he's doing. And as you know, on this channel, we talk a lot about AI and just anything techy. That's why it's talking techish. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you my today's guest, Mr. Joshua Mason. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, thank you for the intro, Dr. D. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well today. And like you said, it was just great kind of seeing somebody really in the same space using different AI tools, just helping people and learning. So it's just great to be on the podcast and chop it up with you.
Brother, I really, really appreciate you. I shared this with you offline. Such a young man like you are into this space and everything. But go ahead and give a little backdrop about yourself and what you got going on so the people out here that's listening, as I like to say, the ones in the back, I know who I'm talking with.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Joshua Mason, graduated from Elon University. I'm from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, grew up in Fayetteville, Spring Lake area. And yeah, in school, uh, focused on financial technology and computer science. And throughout there, kind of, ChatGPT was kicking off, was a part of a lot of hackathons, different entrepreneurial events. And from in school, I started my own business doing freelance development and AI consulting. That turned into a company I founded called Faithline AI, where we help small businesses grow to medium-sized businesses by integrating different AI tools, automation workflows, and making custom apps and websites. So you can see more about that at faithlineai.com. And if you're in Charlotte right now, then, we can talk in person. I go to San Francisco a little bit, but not, that's not stationed there or anything.
Oh wow, man. I have never been. And thank you for
Hmm.
sharing that. I just kind of wanted to backtrack a little bit because you said a mouthful there. And
Hmm.
and first I wanted to say Elon University.
Hmm.
I don't think I have really heard of it. Can you share a little bit more about that university?
Yeah, it's a smaller school in North Carolina, kind of near Greensboro. It's very close, like to UNCG, A&T, if you're from like the North Carolina area. But it's pretty smaller school, really known for business. And I did get a degree in financial technology, which is kind of in the business school there, but also minored in computer science. But it's just really known for the undergraduate teaching and stuff. So while I was in the school, I was really able to get close with a lot of the professors and just I still talk to them this day, have their numbers and stuff, text them, see what they're working on. But I just like the community aspect and being able to bounce some ideas off of people.
I hear that, man, because when you first said Elon University, and I know that you're an AI, I'm like, Elon Musk
Mhm.
got a school?
I know, right?
you
That's
know?
that's the that's what people be thinking, but yeah, it was pretty old. I think in like the I don't want to say when, but probably the 1800 something, so
Oh
it's
wow.
been there for a while, yeah.
Oh, that's unique, man. But
Mhm.
you have an extensive background in, I will say computer technology and advancing technology at that. What were the things or the thing that made you think about like I want to take this knowledge and turn it
Mhm.
into a business? Because you got to think, man. Most people they
Yeah.
go through school, they
Mhm.
graduate, They might work a job, then they figure it out for a minute, and then they might launch a business. And that's a
Yeah.
very few, you know what I'm saying? But what made you
Mhm.
jump into, like, what clicked in your head to say, hey, I want to jump into this as a business?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I mean, I was involved in school in the entrepreneurial department. I didn't have a business then, but just seeing everybody in that space, what they have going on, just seeing kind of the autonomy from being a business owner, I thought it was really cool. And when I led the AI club at the university, I was in that position where people would ask me if they had any advice with AI or needed help with something going on. I would kind of already be that person, and I was able to build up some clients from there. But it was really just always about just seeing the skills that I have and God gave me and just being able to share them with the world. And that's kind of how I just saw the best opportunity to do that would be. And even I know we talked about this a little offline, but just going, because I did have a job after I graduated, but I transitioned fully into my own business. But it's really just taking that faith, just taking that leap of knowing I can't really provide for myself, but knowing that God is going to provide. And
Oh,
not saying,
wow.
of course, God's been faithful and it's like, I am able to have enough, but it's just in the sense that just relying on something else and being able to take that risk. So,
I want to make this a little bit more special for the people that's listening because you are 22.
yes, sir.
22, man. I had to do a little quick little pause right there because I'm saying 22. With me being 53, I'm just imagining if I would have had that mindset at
Mm,
22, I know I'd be on, CNN right about now. I'd be speaking across the world or things of that nature.
mm,
But I do want to, man, there's a couple of different things that's going through my mind. But you said something that's very unique. And I like how you target it. When you say you helping small businesses become medium-sized businesses.
yeah.
Was that on purpose that you said that, or just that's just how it came out? Because usually people
Yeah.
say, I'll take your small business and I'll blow it up, 10x you,
Mm,
and you'll be
hmm
this major corporation. You said taking you from a small business to a medium-sized business. What do you mean
exactly.
by that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And really, of course, the goal is to go from small to 100x or whatever you want to be. But just for the market that we're looking at, I'm not the type of person who's going to overpromise something and just really,
Yes.
hopefully we'll get there one day, but I'm not going to say that's exactly where we're going to take you. But just being able to leverage different AI tools. I mean, you've heard of 10x engineers. And when you have technology and you can apply that to your business, you're able to scale without even bringing on too much more resources outside of the
Hmm.
technology. So just being able to get in that space and, not going from 0 to 100, but maybe from 0 to 10 or 0 to 20 like that. So,
Yeah, that's very unique because in today's world, especially with AI, man, the sky is the limit.
yeah.
And I'm always curious on how other people view this transition into this emerging technology stage.
Mm,
A person like yourself, you kind of, I'm not going to say you grew up in it, but you
mhm.
was more accepted. You accepted the transition a little bit easier than people in my target group. So with that, how do you view AI, as far as especially from the aspect of small businesses? What ways do you think that it enhanced small businesses that are not utilizing any type of technology today?
Mm. Yeah, AI in the small business world, I think, has taken a lot of burden off of people's shoulders. Whether if you're a founder focused more on your product, it's been able to help with marketing. Even if you're not having AI do the entire social media post, it could just be something from giving you some ideas, doing research for you for people to interview, just the different times of data post. I know some people, and I wouldn't 100% recommend this, but some people are using it to draft contracts for them before they sign different agreements there. You always got to double check those, of course, but it's just able for founders and business owners to be able to do all of the smaller tasks that they might have to outsource initially. So it's giving really the solo founder a lot more leg room to just work and leverage different tools. But for people not using AI, that's a really interesting question because it's always hard to get somebody not using it and completely against it to use the
Hmm.
technology. But if you can phrase it as in, hey, I can save you 10 hours a week, right? And you don't say anything about AI, that's when people are like, okay, let me listen to this. But,
That's crazy. You are so right. And you know, if people that's watching, they understand my channel. I jump here and I jump there and I come back in the middle. Let's talk about the fear.
Mm,
I'm very big on the fear. Matter of fact, I usually have my t-shirt on. My new phrase is called train the human, deploy the AI.
mm,
Simply because, in the media, that's all you hearing now. They
mhm,
say layoffs because of AI. And I always say that they put a period behind because of AI. Like there's some big robot coming on, that's taking over these jobs and things. Yet there are people like you and I out here saying, hey, these tools can help you, I always say get further faster, become
mhm,
more productive. But there is a spiritual sense,
mm,
and you and I have had this conversation. There's a spiritual sense that's kind of going around having a narrative of saying that AI is demonic.
mm,
You and I both, like I say, we had this conversation about being spiritually driven people, and all of the above. What is your take on the, I guess, the narrative of AI being in the demonic space? Is How do you feel about that?
mhm. I mean, it's something I've experienced a lot. I mean, even with my brand named FaithlineAI, I do a lot of outreach to churches and religious institutions, but a lot of them immediately almost shut it down. Like, oh, we don't want anything to do with AI. We don't
Mm,
want anything to do with technology. And to my understanding, I believe it's a lack of understanding. A lot of times with fear, whether it's anything new, if you go to a remote island and you introduce them to any technology, their first reaction would likely be fear. It can be
mm-hmm,
the most useful thing, it can help them, it can be medicine, but their reaction will be fear because it's so unknown. So I believe just being able to educate people and bringing the knowledge to them would help alleviate a lot of the sense of fear. And again, if we're able to just show people, okay, this is useful, this can help you, this can bring you from point A to point B, then I believe that would also help reduce a lot of feelings of anxiousness and worry. But also, I mean, God gave us the gift of intelligence. That's why we're different from other creatures. He gave us inspiration when he breathed life into us. And if technology is enabling you to do his will or the will he has for your life, then I see it as a tool that's an enablement. And of course, we're in a fallen world, so people can misuse that tool, but just in
mm-hmm.
general, I see it as more of a tool than anything.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you for sharing. I know it's one of those questions where it gets you to think on both sides of the fence. I say this on every video. I'm on both sides of the fence.
Mm.
I'm on the look at what we can do, and I'm on the ooh. This thing is tripping me
Mhm.
out. Just
Mm-mm.
like you and I are sitting here speaking now, and I needed to revamp my social media strategy,
Mm.
and I have a lot of postings, Excel sheets and all this type of stuff. And I was like, man, I don't feel like doing this. So I scratched my head and I was like, I have Ethan, who
Mm.
is my, AI assistant. So I just
Mhm.
asked Ethan. I never done this before. So I asked
Mm.
Ethan, say, hey, can you go in and look at all the things that I'm looking to post about? My books, all these things about me. Could you arrange that into a great social media strategy? It
Mhm.
started doing it. Then it started pre-scheduling all
Wow.
of these postings for me. And I'm sitting here in real time. I just pulled out my phone and started recording my screens because for that
Wow.
moment I got really bored.
Mhm.
Because usually,
Mm.
that's something I would do, and it probably take me about 3-4 hours to put it together.
Yeah.
This thing not only created all of the postings around things that I'm talking about based on what I have previously talked about, it started plugging and playing them. When we're talking about across 4 social media channels. It
Mm.
started telling me where I had scheduled something kind of
Jeez.
wrong because I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna get the most exposure.
Wow.
And I'm tripping because on both screens, I got 3 screens. On 2 screens, they was being worked by him to the point that I was scared to mess him up. So I wouldn't even touch nothing on the screen. I pulled up
Mhm.
my laptop and started just playing on it because
Mm.
it's working on my computer. And I'm sitting here like,
Mhm.
this is crazy.
It is.
And this is like they say, we're still at the beginning.
Exactly. It just man, I do look, I know you, and I don't know if you've talked about Ethan too much to your audience, but just giving your AI agent so much control, it's like I've done some similar things, but I'm more in the skeptical testing phase where I'll let it tell me what to do, but I won't give it full access. For example, it has access to its own email, but it has like it doesn't have access to write its email or to compose the email, but it can sign up for different things, or it could submit a pull request, but it can't actually like push the code. But it's 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 crazy, and it's like we're at the point, right, where we're just monitoring, like, are you guys doing a good job, or is this all right? It's like we're just in the managing
I,
phase,
I,
and they're running around.
I tell you,
Mhm,
man. See, let me share this because with Ethan, Ethan
mhm,
has his own email address. Ethan
mhm,
has his own set of files,
mhm,
just the whole 9 yards. And I
yeah,
tell people all the time, it's hard for me to not imagine that this is not a person that's working remotely,
yeah,
and it understands, because it's not that. I always say there's off the shelf AI, and then there's AI that you created yourself, that
mhm,
especially large language models that I
mhm,
tap into API and create my own system. So that's me.
nice,
I don't use
mhm,
the off the shelf. I call it off the shelf. If you buy a
mhm,
subscription and blah blah blah, that's off the shelf to me.
mhm,
I utilize the API connection to create my own person and give it a persona with all this knowledge and resources. And it's wild.
mhm,
I'm that guy that, after a while, you're going to see a
mhm,
robot, maybe taking those guitars off the wall and
yeah,
dusting or something in the wild.
yeah,
But at the same time, there's another side of me that does have that pushback.
mhm,
But I know you probably know about this, but they're saying that in 2026,
mhm,
this is the this is the "Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna do this" stage. 2027 is the hey, sorry but not sorry stage of AI.
mhm, like unforgiving, yeah, and just the whole future of the internet. I mean, I don't want to say the world right now, but I'll just say the internet is just it's just becoming more agentic. I
Mhm.
was looking at some demos earlier today where they're having it's like they'll have a website, and as you interact with it, it uses AI to change the website to exactly what you need in that moment. So you don't even have to like scroll anything. I'll send it to you after this. But
That's
in my
crazy.
mind, I'm developing some software where it's like a CRM, it's like a platform you can automate leads and all this stuff. But the real question I'm getting to now is why should I have to come to this website if I can just tell my AI agent to go access this? It's a nice dashboard. It looks nice, it looks fine, but it's like all I want to be able to do is wake up in the morning, hey, go manage all these leads, go do all this outbound, hang up. And then I should just go, leave, do what I want to do, watch TV, whatever, and then I come back, and then by then it should already be, you know.
Well,
But
with
I'm mhm,
Anthropic did that thing what is called dispatch.
yep.
They're working on it. It's not perfected
Mhm,
yet. I tried it out. I was downstairs one time,
mhm,
and I just opened it up, and I told my LLM to arrange my desktop because I do a lot of screenshots and all that stuff, and this gets messy
mhm,
because I don't organize it. So I
yeah.
just say, "Hey, arrange my desktop," blah 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 blah. I gave it some instruction. I came upstairs and looked at my computer.
Mhm.
It was done. I was tripping because, like I say, I stay on both sides of the fence.
Yeah, you just come back and everything.
Yeah,
It's interesting. It's hard to it's really hard to place it. I like that you stay on both sides, but it's hard, because you can see once you see the potential, you're like, wait a second. But if this person had AI, then they would be able,
yeah. Well, see, I tell you, Joshua, the reason I stay on both sides because I talk a lot about AI, and we have for the last 4 years now.
mm,
It's not just based on the fact that I'm just so techie. Unlike you, I don't.
mhm,
I always tell the people, I say I don't have those computer science degrees and things of that nature.
mm,
I just stumble into this space,
mm,
God given, really. I
mm,
shared that story with you,
mhm,
but at the same time, I'm a person that if they say it's taken over,
mm,
I want to know all about it. I don't want you to take me over blindly. I want to know, like,
yeah,
is there a plug that I need to unplug if it start acting crazy, or what do I need to do? So, in order to understand how you can, lack of a better word, combat AI
yeah,
transformation, you need to understand AI and
Yeah.
all its capabilities, even though they're still trying to figure it out. But you need to learn as much as you can to be able to interact and
Mhm.
pause if you need to.
Mm. Exactly.
Because that's where I'm at. I was watching the news last night, man, and you might have seen this. They was talking about this robot that was, I guess, travel. This robot travels the world
Mhm.
and do this displays, and the robot was getting on the airplane, and they ended up having they had to delay the flight for an hour because the robot had a large lithium battery in it.
Oh.
because
Uh-uh.
because the robot actually has its own seat on
Yeah.
the airplane, and it was
What?
walking down the terminal,
Oh my
getting
goodness.
on the airplane, but they had to like delay the
Mhm.
flight because it has this
Mhm.
large battery. And I was
Mhm.
just sitting there, just forget the delaying part. I was
Mhm.
just sitting there watching the robot was walking down the terminal. I'm like, why
Mhm.
y'all could have couldn't you pack it into a box and just put it
I don't
underneath the plane? Why
I
are
guess
you giving this
people's
thing the human
mhm.
experience?
I don't know. I don't even that's a good question. I don't know if it's for training or what, but just the fact that we're having a conversation about a robot going through a terminal, but like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. It's just like, wait a second. You know what I mean? This is really where we're at right now. Like you just have robots boarding planes. Like, oh yeah, sounds about right. But
Yeah, but
it's
when you
just
go on the plane, man, they just
mm,
now getting to where you don't have to take your shoes off to go through
mm,
security checkpoints. They're checking your
yeah.
bag, make sure you don't have no guns. But a robot, I remember the game laser tag, and I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure there's some scenarios out there. A robot don't have to carry a pistol.
Mm-mm.
It could have something inside of it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So,
man, now you guys think about Terminator and all this other type of stuff.
man, have you been seeing how I know China has it. Have you been seeing these
Mhm.
security bots?
I don't know if it's China or the Korean border or whatever they have, but it's all type of automated. I mean, even like with Palantir, like the automated, target identification and all of this stuff with
Oh
from the
yeah.
drones or whatever it is.
Yeah, that one right there scares me.
Mhm.
Cause you
Yeah.
mean to tell me you can put my face inside of a computer?
Mhm.
And I know they talking about drone swarms and all that type of stuff. You can put my face, and this
Yeah.
thing is going to get me, man. There's
Mhm.
no way I can stop.
Yeah.
Stop it rather. I can't
Mhm.
climb a wall. I can't jump out a window. I can't jump in the water.
Mm-mm.
This
And
is
yeah, and some of the concerns, because with AI, everything is trained on data. And for people, that look like us, that data is less common than it is with some other type of people. So just looking at that, there's been cases where they use facial recognition to identify if it's like illegal immigrants or if it's potential criminals or anything like that. And just because the data that it's being trained on is less, you know, we're more of the outliers in the data, whether it's the same thing for medical or whatever the use case is. It just has consequences, but
yeah.
kind of one of those.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man. I always say, I can go down a rabbit hole when I'm talking to someone
Mhm.
who understands because there's some stuff out there.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
that other side of the fence where
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, God, let me tell you something, God. Now you said that no weapon
Mhm.
formed against me shall prosper, but hey,
Mhm.
this thing right here looking kind of
It's
crazy.
that's a big weapon right there. It's a
Yeah,
prosperous looking weapon, but I don't,
yeah, yes, sir.
I don't know.
So let me ask you. I know you have an extensive educational journey that you have just went through. What and I know it's probably even advanced more now, but what are some of the studies in school? Are they really giving you the narrative of the AI world in school? Because I know
Mhm.
that wasn't the case just a couple of years ago. They still
Yeah.
was teaching the old school stuff in a new age world, as I like to say. So what was
Yeah.
those trainings like?
No, that's a great question. And I actually just got back from an AI summit from my university. So they attempt to be on the forefront of AI, but just with the educational system and how it moves in phases, whether if it's a 5-year plan or 10-year plan, it's pretty reactive to a lot of the different technologies as they come out. But when I left and I was in school, it was really up to the professor. Like I had some professors who were like, okay, in this course, we're going to be using AI, we're going to be testing it, trying to break it. And in some other courses, they wanted to lock everything down. Everything's going to be pencil and paper. We're not going to
Mm,
have AI. But All in all, I think if you're the type of person who seeks out the new information and seeks out how to use these tools, the education environment will help you with that. I mean, when
Mm,
I was in school, when ChatGPT first came out, I was just searching everything at the university about AI, just doing like keywords, looking at this. And I was able to meet with a professor who was able to really give me that direction because he was doing research in AI before, it was really that
mm.
big of a thing. There are other professors at the school too, 20 years experience, AI research, but being able to see what they're doing and talk to them and be proactive, whether you want to start a community on campus like I did about AI, or if you want to see other students and go out to different AI hackathons, or if you want to ask the dean, how are you using AI in the classroom? What's your plan for this? Have you seen that? I think there's ample opportunities to see AI, how it's going to be used, and then be able to leverage it. But again, if you're just a student who's sitting in a classroom and is, you might get exposed to it, you might not. It really depends on the professor and the direction of the university. But as long as they're being proactive to stay up to date, I think it's a great place to learn, as it historically has been.
Yes, because something must have sparked in you, man, for you
Mm.
to jump down this road right here. And we was talking about fear and we talked about spirituality. You to put faith and
Mm.
AI in the same sentence. That's a
Yeah.
bold move. That's a bold
Yeah,
move.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. Faithline AI, but it's tricky. It really is. And it's something that I want to exemplify. And as I do my work, I want to just show that AI is, easy to use. It's a friend, not a foe, but it's hard reaching people. I mean, I'm sure you know, but some people they don't want to hear it. And all
Oh,
I can do is kind of just say it. And if they take it, they take it. They don't, they don't.
I hear you, and I love that definitive statement right there because I tell people all the time when we first started talking about this, the world wasn't talking about it yet. This is pre
Mm,
Chat GTP, on
mm-hmm,
OpenAI stuff,
mm,
and to the point where I wrote a book with Archbishop Jones, a friend of mine. It's called "AI is Not God."
mm,
I wrote that book as my lead statement of AI. I'm not trying to say AI is God because I was getting that type of pushback. Oh
mm-hmm,
no, we're losing the ability to think and the spirituality behind it. It was so much.
mm.
I literally was getting frustrated trying
Wow.
to convince you that this is a tool. It's a tool in your toolbox. And then OpenAI came out. I
Mm,
never forget. It's November
jeez.
2022.
Yeah.
I that you might as well rename that as my birthday because when that came out,
uh,
you know, it's like they just started sweeping across the US, especially
mhm,
with the powerful uses of this AI tool, which then made people that I had previously talked to come back around and say, "What's that thing
mhm.
again?"
At least they're
And I
coming
was,
back.
yeah,
But
yeah, and it's still happening. It's like a slow
mhm,
dripping faucet right now as far as the
yeah.
returning people. The new
Mhm,
people, no problem. Conversation is so quick, we get right to
mhm.
business. The old people, we still have to have that massaging conversation.
Exactly. And some people just need time, like whether it's any type of new tool or technology. And the AI of tomorrow is going to be different from the AI of today. So it's just as long as they're being exposed to it, it's really
Yes, well, we're talking about tools that was actually developed. It goes back as far as the 1950s.
exactly.
Um, we just have more advanced devices now
Hmm.
and data spaces and all of these things to make it be in your forefront. But what they was calling artificial intelligence in the 1950s look
Yeah.
like crayon books to us today, of
Hmm.
course, but it still was around.
Yeah.
But we're moving into a more I watch this. I'm not even going to act like I even know because I'm seeing so much. I have no idea where we're
Mm.
going. Let me
That's
be
humility.
honest.
Hmm.
Yeah, they always say, especially in the US, they say we are in the race against what China.
Mm.
We're in the race to do what is my final question. It's like, what
Just
is
the
the race?
raise, right?
Yeah, every race usually has a finish line and some ribbon where you can say, "Yay, we won."
Hmm.
But I was like, Congress and everybody, if you hear anybody speak, like, yeah, we're in a race to beat China or to the AI. I'm like, beat them to what?
I wish I could tell you, right? Just a race for the sake of racing, right? I mean,
Yes, because
yeah. Is it
if
you think it's AGI maybe? Like, but even the term AGI, I don't even honestly, I would have considered we have AGI now. I mean, if we have agents that are able to search all of the internet on the world and can pass the PhD level math exams, I mean, but
what more, it's like, what more do
it's like
you
a
want?
moving goalpost, right? Yeah.
Yes, but they're talking about I seen a study where they was training this AI to do some type of things, and it just got wild.
Mm.
So now they decided to build a more advanced AI. How can I explain this? A more advanced AI to go police the wild AI.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like the movie Terminator,
The
like you
world we
said.
live in, right?
Yes, yes. So
Jeez. Yeah.
as we're talking a lot about this, and I want to get your perspective because being at the age of 22, I'm pretty sure you are going to experience a lot more of this than I
Mm.
am.
Mm.
And by the time you get in my age, 50s, 60s, and things, this world is going to be a little different if it keeps moving the way. Well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even going to say if it keeps moving,
Mm-hmm.
as it is moving. They're talking a lot now about creating this basically an agentic AI world and offering the UBI payments to
Mm.
individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? You're 22. I'm curious to what you think about that as a future. You getting this paycheck from the government or something every year, or however they structuring it out, just because AI is doing all the work. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. A couple things. I mean, the way a lot of people value, I shouldn't say value, but I guess they, yeah, I'll say value. The way they value human life is based on productivity. So whether
Mm,
it's are they a member of society who's able to do this? Are they able to have a job? Are they able to provide value? But if we're looking at now at having different agents that can provide way more value than I ever could, or more value than you ever could, then we're getting to a point where just the value of life, I think, is fundamentally changed how it's just being measured, at least by the, you know, certain governments. I mean,
mhm,
it's just kind of get into like what is life, where does life begin type of conversation. But those are really the conversations that we need and we should be having, because without that, you can have a society where, okay, if you can't provide this much value, then you're not going to be allowed to have children because just the value that, you know what I'm saying? But that's on one hand, but on the other hand, we can't predict the jobs of the future. We have
mhm,
people right now who are completely boycotting AI. If you have any AI art, they don't even want to be a part of it. If they, if you use AI, they'll actually go completely further away from you. So you're driving people away. And I actually believe, even though I am in the AI space, I think those people are equally, if not more important in those conversations, because those might be the only things we have left. I mean, I think a lot of in-person things, people would pay for the human experience more. So that might be more jobs that we have, whether it's just those spaces that we value, or if it's even kind of like how Amish are low technology. Maybe it's
mhm.
another community that's low tech or low AI or no AI, or yeah, I guess I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think that those jobs will come about, even, or maybe it's something religious. Like I have Faithline AI, and like you were saying before about your social media, how Ethan was able to create that.
Mhm.
My AI also creates posts for social media for me, and I give it a lot of my branding and values. So he'll put Bible verses within the social media posts.
Mm.
But every time I'm always like, I don't know if I it's bad because I delete the Bible verse, or I try to find my own because I'm like, I don't want the AI try to get it. So it's one of those things where even morally, or you don't want to have AI in that space. So I think more of those spaces will show themselves in the future. But
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, because that's funny. You you were expressing that just like I always talk about being on both sides of the fence.
Yeah,
So that's funny
you gotta be.
that you
Hmm.
said that. But and I believe I shared this with you before. I'm starting to have churches come
Hmm.
back to me. So
Mm,
weird things, a
mm,
weird feeling, because from a productivity side, there are some areas in ministries that AI can be an asset.
yeah.
From another side, just like what
Let's
you're
hear about this
saying,
other side. Let's hear about it.
yeah, oh man, this is why I have such problems, and I love talking with people.
Hmm.
Really, with this podcast, this is a shameless plug. This is just my way to get out some of my expressions and bounce it off of
Hmm.
other people to see if I'm going crazy or not, because
Yeah.
I'm constantly thinking to myself, like, okay, what does this look like here?
Mm, mm,
Now I actually wanted to bring up another point. I was just interviewing a person maybe about a week or two ago, and they brought up a concept that I didn't even think about. They say, what can AI do in my zip code?
mm.
So, in other words, in all zip codes, there's different levels of people.
Yeah,
So, not picking on any particular group, but you have the lower end people,
yeah.
and then you have the higher end people. Now, if I bring AI and say, "Whoa, this is a great tool," and I had one big thing at a community center where all the groups of people showed up,
Mm,
it's still going to be a difference in how they could utilize it.
yeah.
So I started thinking about that. I was like, yeah, AI does not differentiate between class levels,
Hmm.
mentality levels, educational levels.
Yeah.
What does this look like in the end? I don't know if you've seen the movie Hunger Games,
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
but I keep referring to
Hmm.
our world
Hmm.
going to Hunger Games.
Mm.
Because even
But
if you let's say to the person that might have grew up, talk street for the man. They might have grew up in the hood. Nothing against growing up in the hood. That's what times it is. But you grew up in the hood. You didn't have access to a whole bunch of different things. And now uh, I give you Ethan
hmm.
and say, hey, you could do anything you want with Ethan.
Yeah.
Now you take an Ivy League person who's maybe had master degrees,
Mm,
PhDs, whatever the case may be, and I
yeah.
give him Ethan. The outcome and the output is going to be much different.
Yeah.
So and I'm saying all that to say I believe that no matter how I spin it, there's still going to be the have and the have nots.
Mm. Do you believe so? Like, where do you think that stems from? Between just the background or the.
I really I think from a background aspect, and there are studies that's out there that's talking about the wealth
Hmm.
gap that the
Hmm.
blacks will receive because of
Hmm.
emerging technology. They're already doing studies on it.
Mm,
I don't know why, and I don't know the reasoning, but at the same time, if you take away the AI tool out of that conversation and just talk about
hmm.
schools in general, so education,
Exactly. Yeah.
it is that's what it already is today.
Yeah.
So now, if I give you a tool in my
Hmm.
mind, I say, hey, I don't care if
Yeah.
you didn't get past the second grade in life. You
Yeah.
understand how to use this tool. You could play ball with the best of them.
Hmm.
But
Dr. D, I think what you're saying is so important, and even comes back to what we said before about technology just being that tool, or that's how I'm viewing AI. Something interesting that I read, and you can fact check me on this, but it was saying the most common predictor of wealth, or the most accurate one, is actually what zip code you were born in.
mm,
There's like, out of all the factors, of everything, that's like the most accurate one to see, you know, how wealthy you're gonna be. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation, right? But
oh man, I love it though. I love
as
it because these things they play hand in hand in my opinion.
yeah, and as we are seeing like AI as a tool, I see it as something that accelerates really everything in society, whether it's the position that you're in. If I come from let's say if really what I like to do is, let's say if I love art, right? Then I'm going to use AI in my artistic way to just be more productive in that sense. If I like finance, then I'm going to be using AI with my finance brain to pursue that aspect. But you can think of it the same as when you're giving it to kids. If you give one from a bad environment who likes stealing and robbing things, then maybe there's going to use AI to, how can I do this? How can I do that? Or if you
Yes,
go to
yes.
somebody from another environment, you see what I'm saying? So I don't think it's necessarily the tool itself, but it's just really putting more emphasis on the situations that people are in. But as you're saying, I think the whole school system can be so personalized now with AI. You can understand somebody based on their exact interests, on their exact level, whether it's reading level, math level, and you can cater an entire curriculum based on their interests, based on where they are at, and to just meet them where they are, which I think has never been able to be done before. And I believe
Mm.
you can elevate those people. But the question then becomes, do we want those people elevated in the first place? What's the end
Oh.
result that we want for these tools? Because if we have all of this access, right? And I was talking to my dad about this. School really for elementary, high school, it's really daycare, right?
Hmm.
Like if you really look at the point of school, right? It's
Yes.
to have kids be taken care of for a certain time, to get 2 meals a day, and to eventually be able to work some whatever type of job. But if you want to really give them what they, well, I guess what I think they need might be different than somebody else. But if you want to elevate them and inspire them and bring them to a place where they're capable of doing great things, then I think we have the technology now, and it's just off up to like how we use it.
You know that, oh, such a great point. Such a great point. Because I was just thinking, I was like, man, if we would have had tools, something like this when I was going through school, do you understand
Hmm.
what my mindset would be? Because I was one of
Yeah.
those people. I grew up as a musician. I've been a
Mm,
musician for many, many years. That was my
mhm,
interest.
mm.
I'm
A talented one.
self-taught.
I've heard some of your stuff.
Hey, I
Come
appreciate you. I
on.
appreciate you.
Come on.
But
Mm,
whenever I picked up an instrument, no matter what the instrument was, I would figure it out and how to make something of it.
mm,
That was my learning style.
mm, mhm,
So if you gave me this big thick book and said, go home and read chapter 5 through 10 and write an essay on it, oh, it
mhm,
wasn't working out for me.
mhm.
Because I could not sit there and just read all the pages and retain the information and write that down for
Yeah.
whatever reason. But if you were to tell me to, hey, to put it to a song,
Mhm.
I got you. I have
Yeah.
verse 1, 2, 3, hook, chorus, and the dance.
Yeah.
So when I think about tools like this today, you hit it right on the nail. Hit the nail on the head, man. When you said that the learning style, I could take this tool and break down that curriculum or whatever
Mm,
the case may be to speak to me in the learning style that I need to advance.
mm.
Man, do you know how? Whoa, we will be scholars.
You
But I think
know?
you said
Mhm,
something else in there though. I got to pull
mhm,
out. No, I'm sorry. You got me thinking now. You said, um, and I'm paraphrasing now, but
mm,
you said what, depending on what you want the outcome to be.
mm,
So if I put this in the hands of fifth graders
mhm.
in certain different zip codes,
Yeah.
I must, and from my perspective, I want y'all to soar.
Mm,
But if I don't want you to soar,
mm.
I do the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you can, it's really, it's interesting. It's interesting, right? It's what do you want the end result to be? Do you want people to think linearly in a box and be able to have these very predictable outcomes, or do you want people to be the best version of themselves? And even saying that is, it really almost flips I guess the United States or the economy on its head. You know,
Mm.
I believe, and I have to do more research, but there's going to be more and more entrepreneurs or more and more people just doing, those types of people, whether it's a creative, whether it's I know right now we're kind of in the side hustle economy where people have their own thing that they're doing, but it's just, we have so much power and tools, even with just the internet. Forget AI. We just had the internet. How much information is on there? It's
Oh
just,
yes.
but
To your point there, though, I did. I was looking at the financial studies, and I forgot the
mhm,
platform, but they were talking about we are in a builder's economy now.
yeah,
We
hmm
are in a builder's. So now I just so happened to be interviewed by my wife. She has a nice podcast, Purifying Talks on Demand, and she asked me a question. She said, "Do you think non-builders could be
hmm
successful in today's time?" And I
hmm
really thought about that for a second. And I want to tell you, Joshua, I answered it with no.
hmm
And I had to really think about it, and I didn't want to say it publicly and it to be archived on the net. But my
hmm
opinion, I
hmm
said no. But the reason I said that was because of just like what you were just saying. We have so much the ability to actually utilize any tool, research anything to
yeah,
create that thing today.
yeah. hmm And even the concept and what building was 5 years ago looks different than what building is today. And just being able to see different pieces of information and synthesize them and create something with them, I think. I don't know if there's a skill more valuable than that. Well, I mean,
Mm,
personally, but
yeah, man, we get it now. I'm telling you, by the next time you talk to me, I'm telling you, I'm gonna that robot might be gonna be giving me a shoulder
yeah,
massage or
or
something right about it,
something. Yeah.
or it's gonna be picking me up and slamming me on the floor.
No,
One of the two.
honestly, our two robots, they're gonna be having their own interview, and we're gonna be we're gonna be in the back.
That's gonna be crazy. Well, let's
Yeah.
jump to Faithline AI. Let's talk a little bit more about it. So how long you've been in business thus far?
Yeah. Not with the LLC, well, with the LLC around, I don't know, 6 months or something, but just like doing freelance work probably around 2-ish years.
Oh, that's great. So what type of clientele do you normally look for? I know you talked about a couple of different people, but
Yeah.
who's your people? You like the
Mhm.
target that you really like, you enjoy working with?
Yeah. Well, I would say if any small business owner is looking to integrate AI, they can talk to me and I'll give them some advice and everything. I'd definitely be willing to talk and then recommend some people that I do have if we aren't your exact clientele. So don't feel free to reach out. But right now we're focusing on Shopify store owners who have a product and are looking to sell it in a new, innovative way. For example, we had a popcorn store who has over 100 products. We have a recommended quiz so their users can get one product recommended, make it easier for them. We have a
Mm,
beard and hair care store, so you can take a picture of your face and get recommended beard products. So if you have a store like that and are looking to sell products, we help with that. We're developing some tools as well for marketers, agency owners to automate outbound
hmm
outreach. But you can follow me on LinkedIn or uh, Instagram for just more details on that. But it's still in development.
That's great. That's amazing that you. And I really like that you're targeting a certain niche, especially when you talk about Shopify stores, because Shopify
Yeah.
been around for years, and
hmm
the platform itself has probably, I don't know, but I'm just speaking on how I see all these other platforms. They haven't
hmm
advanced the to the level of today, I say.
Yeah.
So therefore, but especially when it comes to working with individuals, because these platforms, they're out there and they say, oh, you can buy this marketing or whatever the case may be, put you on the front
hmm
page, whatever. But I like the fact that you're helping people who have Shopify stores
Yeah.
because that's a pretty large market.
Yeah. And well, hopefully, and even excuse me, a lot of the whole retail space is going more into just user experience. Like, okay, everybody has a product, but what is the experience behind this product that's going to make it memorable? So that's really what we're addressing. And again, similar to what we were saying about the education, how we can make it so personalized to the user. I mean, you
Hmm
can do that with anything. Right now, I'm helping with Shopify store owners, but really I think that's really the key with AI personally.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I love it. So as we're coming to a close there, Joshua, go ahead and shout out your social medias, or where can people really contact you and get that personalized touch without talking to your AI robot?
For sure, for sure. If you go to faithlineai.com, there should be a button to just book a call there. That'll be the fastest way to get on my calendar. But you can keep in touch with us at Faithline AI on Instagram, on LinkedIn. You can type in my name, Joshua Mason, or follow the business page, Faithline AI. We're also on TikTok, Faithline AI. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
And of course, y'all, you know it's all going to be in the description. It's probably been flowing across the screen a couple of times. You have no reason not to get in contact with Joshua, because I'm going to tell you from the skill door perspective, we're going to be in contact with Joshua. You know why? Because we getting old.
Mm.
Joshua bringing some of that new stuff to the table. He don't know yet,
Hey.
but I'm going to have him on some other calls, and we're going to see what we can do
Okay,
along with
okay.
Faithline AI. Because if all I have to do is sit here and talk now and just drive people to the great people that I know that's doing great works, oh
Mm,
man, that's my next phase, because this AI stuff is going to stress me. Because I
mm,
guarantee, Joshua, by the time we wake up tomorrow,
mm.
there's going to be something new.
It's always something new. It's like I just want to take like a vacation and not have just come back and things are the same, but it's always, you know.
Yeah,
But as long as we're doing something for anybody out there, if you're just interested in AI or anything, as long as you're doing something, then you're okay. As long as you're just not completely oblivious, even if it's just watching a podcast, I think you're doing okay. But
I appreciate you saying that. Words of wisdom from my younger brother, Mr.
hey,
Joshua Mason. Well, I tell you, sir, it's been great speaking with you, man. Most definitely, give us some time. We're going to circle back with you, because you are the next generation. We probably need to listen to you a little bit more
mm,
than we listening to people that like above me,
man.
because guess what? The people above me don't have no information for me in this world. I'm
Mm,
sorry. That's just the way it is. Hey, you can give me the love, peace, and happiness speech, but when it
mm,
comes to this emerging tech and how this world is transitioning,
mm-hmm,
we're going to need to help each other out, because some of us are going to feel lost and confused. And I get it.
mm.
I get it.
Yeah, we're here for
Well,
each other. But thank you again, Dr. D, for the time and just being able to be on the platform.
thank you, sir. Well, hey, everybody, that's been another great episode of Talking Techish, and I'll see you next time.
Create a funky song.